Welcome to WhoDooTV. We are talking Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, episode number 2. And happy to have you guys on here. We want to know what you guys are thinking, so put those in the comments on the side. We want to hear it. I'm Hoosier, and I got my buddy, the Bald Moose, with me.
Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm really looking forward to breaking this down with you.
And in a short time, Eric from Get Valiant is going to be jumping on with us. He might have Tor with him or not. He's late. He's late. So he'll be on in a little bit. But we are going to talk about this. We got to see episode number 1. I have a comicbook.com link down in the description. If you haven't seen it, you might want to come back to it and see it, because we might spoil some of the show, and we want to have you guys watch this, whether you're new to Valiant or you're long-term Valiant. Check it out. It's cool to see the characters that we know and love come to life in this new script. So there's been mixed emotions back and forth a little bit on the first episode. Chris, I think you said you had some friends that you showed it to for the first time.
Well, there's on the Facebook side of the Valiant fan page. There's a couple of people that said they were too embarrassed to show this to their friends. Some that may or may not know who or what the Valiant universe is about. So I wanted to test that. I wanted to put that theory to test. And I reached out to a bunch of my friends, some that knew a little bit about the Valiant universe and a couple that didn't know a darn thing about the Valiant universe. I wanted their honest feedback. And while I haven't heard back from one of my friends, the overwhelming majority is pretty darn positive. Some small things, which we'll get into a little later, but they're actually going to be tuning in for episode 3, 4, 5, and there's 6, right?
You're right, 6 total.
So they're going to tune in. They're curious enough. They're going to continue to watching them. The people that had a little bit, like my brother-in-law, he knows a little bit about the Valiant universe, but not a ton. He's not a comic book reader. He actually really enjoyed it, and he's excited to watch the rest of them. I thought that's a big score right there. I've got a couple other friends, a guy I do a radio show with. He didn't know anything about the Valiant universe. He liked it enough that he's looking forward to tomorrow and picking up on number 3. So those types of reviews, those are the kind of things that I'm really looking for. I challenge you guys, don't be afraid. If you got a friend that may know something about comic books or may not, throw it out there. Get feedback. This is what this is all about, is getting people involved and curious about the Valiant universe. And this is a quick and easy way that's not going to cost you anything.
Right. And I think it's great to have people jump in, you know what I mean? Jump into Valiant, and then be there as a resource for them too. You may know a lot more about it, or even people, you may have noticed something that somebody else didn't know, that, you both are into Valiant for a long time, but don't be so like, oh, you didn't see that. I think it's important to just, be a fan of it. Like you've said before, be a fan of fans, enjoy it, welcome it. That's what we're here for. Like I said, if you have questions about something, put that in the comments below. Put it at Valiant Comic Fans on Facebook, or on a number of different, resources, Comic Fans, Valiant Comic Fans forums, a number of sites. So we are going to go there. So
yeah, just a sidebar, if I could, real quick. Our friend down in Australia, Kate, she went to a Melbourne Comic-Con, and she was dressed up as something totally different, not cosplaying this year for Valiant, but she was carrying around her XO portfolio that holds the comic books. She bumped into a Valiant friend. Immediately, they started chatting. He was unaware of the Ninjak Versus had kicked off. And so, boom, he jumped into it. He was very excited about it. There's another fan right there that's more involved. That's what you should be looking for.
Right. That's, you know what I mean? I think that's great. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want. And then I think Eric's trying to message me to jump on here, so hopefully he can get on here. I sent him the link, so he should be able to get on here. That's what it is. Just to talk about it, to have fun with it. Different medium for some people, and hopefully can go.
You trying to get Eric on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fill a little space then while you're working on that. The people that I polled, it's probably 80 to 90% of the things they really enjoyed. One of my friends who was a music major in college, he was not too happy about the script. There was so much action that he said that if there was a little more pulse pounding music, something to drive, I think the hype would have been a little higher. But overall, he was familiar with John Morrison. He knew kind of who JDF was, but didn't even realize him. He watched the second one as well, and just I think the first one followed by the second one, and how they relate, how they pick up one right after another. He said he's tuning in for the third one, so I'm excited for him because he knows nothing about the Valiant universe, and this is going to be his first taste watching all this. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've ran across some friends recently today and kind of showed them and let them see part of it. And we were at a place where you couldn't really see a lot of the background stuff going on. You couldn't hear that much. And they're like, dude, that looks freaking awesome. It looks great. And it was quite enjoyable for some of them. And now, late to the party is our friend Eric. What's up?
What's up, buddy?
I don't know. I'm just like hanging out. Oh, hey, that's my wife.
What's up, buddy's wife?
I just got to Tor's house. That's Tor.
Hey. Yeah, what's up, Tor?
Yeah. I'm over in Wisconsin land, Cheeseland, and went to a show. And yeah, so anyway, episode 2. We're talking about episode 2, right?
Yeah.
We are just getting into episode 2. We were going through our quick reactions of 1. And I think we got, 3 Bloodshot fans right there in your room alone.
Yeah, my wife really likes EXO, so like the end of the first episode, when we got a little bit of EXO, she was pretty into. But yeah, I was so stoked on, I loved the first episode so much, and this second episode was a perfect continuation. In my ideal world, the fight between Ninjak and Bloodshot would have gone on for another 20 minutes, but...
Wow.
I could see that, man. I could definitely see that. And I want to actually, Eric's, if you guys are new to this show, he's part of Get Valiant podcast. They have a YouTube channel, and they actually recently interviewed, how do you say Aaron's last name from Bat in the Sun?
Shanky? I don't know.
Yeah, Shanaki. So if you want to check that out, and I think they're going to have another interview next week or whatnot with him.
Oh my goodness gracious. We got dogs going on. Yes, we are trying to line up a couple of special guests, or multiple special guests for the next Get Valiant episode, which will be number 80. So on episode 80, we should have multiple people joining. It won't be just Josh and I. We're still getting all the details squared away, but it sounds like Aaron is going to join us. And then we're also hoping to have some other special guests, both not involved with the series and people involved with the series. So trying to bring people on, have a big roundtable conversation with people involved with it. We're really, really hoping, I don't know if everything's nailed down, but really hoping that we're going to be able to bring on one of the actors from the series. So
that'd be fun.
Fingers crossed on that.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Ultimately, I mean, we got, I want to get into giving some credits to these guys, to the guys from Bat in the Sun. They did awesome. And then the 2 guys from Valiant, like I say, that championed it a lot, Dinesh and Josh. Ultimately, a really cool cast, really cool crew. We left episode number 1, quick breakdown. Neville, who is Ninjak's handler, his child and a wife get abducted by Roku and her gang, and she asked him to get an asset out of MI6. And Ninjak goes in, does his deal, and then Neville tries to get the Unity after him. He gets everybody from Bloodshot to EXO to Livewire to Eternal Warrior, and they're all battling to get after Ninjak. And that's where we kind of start off this first episode. And that's where we get to see 4 years ago. A little cool tie-in to what Neville's kids and how they're close together and how they're kind of family-like, them joking, and we get to see kind of Colin have a little heart-to-heart with, looking back at pictures and get a little emotional. What are you guys' thoughts of that first couple minutes of the show?
Well, I'll give you my quick breakdown. And this kind of goes back to the one small knock that we have in not being British enough, Ninjak or Colin not being British enough. A lot of Americanized hand gestures And that kind of bugged me a little bit, but again, I took it with a grain of salt. He's worldly. He's not supposed to be just British and just kept in a British bubble. He's supposed to be worldly. So I saw it. It bugged me. I will say excellent attention to detail. Still had the mustard stain. And the funny thing is, when I saw the close-up of the current, not 4 years ago, but of the current Neville, I was looking for the blood stain because it's supposed to have just happened. And I thought that was fantastic. It was still there. But beyond, it gave us a little insight more of why Ninjak's doing the things that he's doing.
Yeah, it showed that he really cares, that he actually cares about Neville and his family, and, kind of getting to see some of the history between Colin and Neville was nice to, kind of give us that context of why he cares so much. And then, yeah, I mean, that moment of Ninjak sitting there looking at the picture of Neville's daughter on his phone, like I said, it kind of just drove home that why he is so invested in this and why he's actually going through with this. And then as far as the rest of the stuff, like what you were saying about the Americanized hand gestures, I didn't notice that. It wasn't really something I was paying attention to. And I was bummed initially to find out that there wasn't going to be an English accent for Ninjak, but I'm over that. So, like, anything pertaining to that, I'm not really going to worry about at this point.
I hear you. Yeah.
Have you seen the second episode yet?
No, I haven't even finished the first one.
Look, Tor, what are you doing?
Tor, get out of here, Tor.
Look at this guy.
Okay, we're going to watch it now, and then we're all going to watch Tor watch it.
Let's watch him.
I mean, I can start it right.
He's going to watch it on his million-inch TV over here.
I do have to say, like, I the accent was, like I say, the frustrating part of it. Worldly, that's very American to think that you're Americanly when you're worldly, that if you're worldly, you're automatically American.
That's what being worldly means, is being more American.
Yeah, you're worldly. Oh, you're American? No. He should have another accent too if he's ultimately worldly, like a French. I'm sure he goes to France. That's where he was Paris. So why doesn't he have a French accent? But ultimately, yeah, I think when you look at somebody brand new to Valiant, and you do not know who Ninjak is, you do get more of an idea that he is more of a thoughtful person and he's coming from a different point of it. So I do dig that. And then we do get to see what he is ultimately looking to get, the asset. And that asset is the Book of the Geomancer. So a really big connection tied in to the Valiant universe. Score there. I saw that and I was like, yes, I like that connection. And ultimately that ends to get a couple people to come in, and man, we get to see these two again. And two of my favorite looking characters in this show so far is
I'm looking at this image that you got up, the image on the left there.
Yeah.
That third scar, man, it's still killing me. But other than that, that third scar being
right.
Yeah.
I was saying that too with Chris and I, that this scar right here just doesn't line up. Like, I feel like it should be more right here, a little bit over. Yeah. But, that's nitpicky, really.
Right. So other than that, his suit as a whole, though, looks amazing. Livewire looks so fucking badass. She is so perfect. Like, Sierra Foster just, oh, my God. I would say Bloodshot and then Sierra Foster. I mean, those are definitely my favorite things about both of these episodes so far.
Honestly, to me, I think Sierra Foster kind of steals the whole show. She is the true badass, and especially in the first episode, but in this one, I just like her composure. She's focused. She knows what's at stake.
Very Livewire.
Yeah, but yeah, I love Livewire. I love the way she's portrayed. Sharp, really, really sharp.
So I watched her watch the first episode on her Instagram. She showed it live, and it was a blast to see her. She was so pumped up. So if you guys are not following Sierra Foster on Instagram, you should. It was actually cool to see an actor get so freaking pumped, and she was just excited, dude. It was really actually a cool thing to watch.
I was watching her on the drive over to tours here a little while ago. I was watching Sierra Foster live on Instagram, and she was just talking about having watched the episode and how excited she is about everything, answering fans' questions and stuff. And she's clearly super, super into it. That's one person that hopefully, I don't know if she like goes to cons or whatever, but I definitely would love to someday get to like meet her and thank her for her contribution to this, because Josh and I on Get Valiant spent a lot before the Secret Weapons series was announced. Josh and I spent a lot of time screaming and yelling and crying and whining, asking for some kind of Livewire centric series, and then we finally got Secret Weapons, and as such a big fan of hers, I'm so happy with what Sierra Foster's doing.
Dude, I like people that are really big. She's an advocate for Valiant. Like, she's huge. She's a champion. One of our friends here in Seattle, Daniel Peralta, followed her on Instagram and figured out she was in Seattle. And he just basically asked her, hey, can I meet you to get something signed? She's like, yeah, meet me at Pike Marketplace. And she like met up with some fans, like a nondescript place or Pike Marketplace, but like not comic venue, and went and signed some Valiant Livewire Secret Weapon stuff. So I mean, she's freaking awesome, dude. So I give her a lot for being such a champion. And then there's pictures of John Morrison out and about wearing Valiant shirts, working out, which is super freaking cool. But I do like this tie-in of having the Legend of the Geomancer book. It doesn't explain a whole lot. It just gives you that. It's like the history of the world is what Glad basically tells Neville, and how dare you mess it up. And then we get to see a little bit more of one of, I'm pretty sure it's one of Tor's favorite characters too. And it's one of, I know it's one of Eric's, is our buddy, good old Bloodshot. Here's one thing that was hard to deal, and you look at this, was how dark some of these scenes were. I wish they were brighter. Because a lot of things kind of felt like they were a little bit hidden in the dark.
Yeah, I had a tough time.
I noticed that with when Roku was messing with Ninjak's wife and daughter, that was really dark. And then, there was definitely sections of the Bloodshot versus Ninjak fight that were dark. But honestly, it wasn't that. I just upped the brightness on my screen and we were good to go.
Yeah. Get to see him on his nice Harley. Here, a question that I have, and I know you guys would know. In the comics, does he normally wear the earpiece like he has here? Because I thought he was a computer and wouldn't need that.
That did bug me a little bit, I'll be honest.
Same with his harness. How I don't ever remember Bloodshot wearing a harness. Like,
he's drawn like that before.
Okay. Yeah, he's been drawn with
not very often, but he's been drawn. I think Miko Sawayan drew him like that, like when like one of the first covers he did.
You don't see him like that in Reborn or Salvation, but in the first series, you do see him because he's more of a working for the military. And I want to even say Armor Hunters, he's drawn like that.
Sure. But I was thinking in the first episode when they had to call him on his cell phone, that was a little weird. And then in this second episode with him wearing the earpiece, I was like, oh, come on, guys. He's Bloodshot. But at the same time, like, we also have to remember that this series is, as much as it's for us fans, it's also kind of for bringing people in, and there's not enough time to go into enough detail to explain why Bloodshot wouldn't need a cell phone and why Bloodshot wouldn't need to have an earpiece in. So it makes more sense to just do that than to spend waste a bunch of time on that could be better spent with badass fights.
Right. And speaking of and that's kind of what I was thinking, is that we would know it being fans, like you just said. Totally agree. And then we get pretty much a pretty cool badass fight where it's kind of dark, but you get to see the sword through Bloodshot's chest. And then the way he kind of shocked himself to actually shock Ninjak was actually really freaking cool. I dug what was going on in this fight scene. Got to see some really cool standoffs of like these two going back and forth like this. Was just such a cool image of these two going at it. The fight scene, man, awesome.
The thing I wanted to say about it was I noticed that it was sword fight to hand to guns, back to hand, and then Ninjak brought the nitrogen or whatever into it. And I just thought that sequence of them like improvising constantly and moving and changing, like that made it such so much more of like if it would have just been one big long sword fight, yeah, that would have been cool. One big long fist fight, all right. One one gunfight, cool. But to like weave it all together the way they did was so awesome.
Yeah, you really didn't skip a beat in that fight. I mean, it was they're looking around for something. Ninjak sensing that that Bloodshot has the gun. Boom, he takes off to avoid. Very, very believable, at least in that aspect. Because if somebody has a gun and I don't have a gun, I'm running. You gotta, regardless of the armor that you have on, you know. But yeah, epic sword fight, epic fist fight, great stuff all the way down. Had me watching it.
Yeah,
at the end of it, and Bloodshot is just pounding his face. That was
yes. Oh my God, yes.
That was so Bloodshot, dude. Like that to me, like JDF has just so nailed Bloodshot in this. Like, and I know that some of that has to do with the fight choreographer and the director and all that stuff. And I want to give them credit too, because obviously they did their jobs very well. But definitely, JDF is the one that has to sell it when the camera's rolling, and he totally does.
Well, it also does help that JDF has been involved in martial arts his entire life. I mean,
yeah, one of the things Aaron mentioned when we interviewed him on Get Valiant was the fact that JDF is like 8-0 in pro MMA.
Yeah.
So he's fought as a professional mixed martial artist and won 8 out of 8 fights. So
yeah, when he was at Emerald City 2 years ago, him and I talked to this. He was doing MMA, and CM Punk from WWE had just gone to UFC. And I just asked him, like, when are you calling him out? He's like, I've been calling him out. I want to fight him. It's like a legit wanting MMA, CM Punk, JDF. So a little off the topic, but yeah, he is a tough dude. He owns his own gym, his own MMA gym. Yeah. And he has like trainmejdf.com or something like that where he does train. He's a black belt. Like, dude is legit, tough dude.
Black belt or something crazy.
Yeah. And he has a huge following with his Power Ranger fans, and he knows choreography for fights very, very well. And so I dig what he's done. Then his
Lord Draken trailer for Shattered Grid was one of the things that convinced me to start following the Power Rangers comics. He's such a badass in everything that he does. Like, I'm a 32-year-old man, and I was like watching that going like, all right, turns out the Power Rangers are actually pretty cool.
You know, I was before Power Rangers. I think our thing was Voltron when I was, and so I thought Power Rangers were a knockoff of Voltron. But yes, still they were awesome. He's an original, and he got that following. Then we go back to seeing Roku, and seeing her on her little ecstasy, going back and forth to her watching
She's
again.
She's rolling hard, dude.
Oh man. She's just got this look. And one thing that like I had a difficult, I noticed when she was talking to the wife and the child, was her eyebrows. Her eyebrows just look really weird there. And yeah. But
I think she looks awesome. I love the way that her eyes are like milky and stuff. I know some people really hate that. I love it. I think that she's awesome. And the cutaways to her don't bother me as much as they seem to bother a lot of other people.
I think it's just the corniness of, watching it with her, palm on her face the way it is. That kind of got me. And then the using the video to show Bloodshot, showing the transition of him being frozen with that nitrogen that's going on, was ultimately a cool way. I thought it was ironic that Ninjak fell down just so close to that concoction that he built to throw it into Bloodshot's neck. But it does give a cool effect of Ninjak kind of getting away from this boss in this level.
This makeup, I got to say, just with that picture of JDF there frozen, man, that's truly, truly epic. I mean, look at his face, and look how well they've done making it look like he is completely frozen. That's clean. That's crisp. You can't.
It's pretty cool. Notice how he's got his pupils back in the eyes too now, instead of all being straight red. But yeah, it was really well done. And then just the kind of like leaving him there frozen, and then showing him offline on the iPhone there, really left for a cool part. And I Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Cool fight scene all the way around. And that was a highlight for what I thought of the show so far. Really, was the way that went down. So,
agreed. That whole fight scene and then the ending of that. It didn't bother me too much that he got up and he was complaining a little bit about his knee. When you get done fighting and you get beat like Colin got beat, you're gonna take some bumps and bruises. Although they drug it out just a bit too long for me. That did bother me just a little bit. It was funny, and then the laugh kind of ended, and you're like, okay, you know. So, but all in all, man, that fight scene. I think we've got a couple of people on here that said they could have watched that fight scene go on for another 10, 15 minutes. And I really hope, like somebody else online has said, I hope DMG or whomever, Bat in the Sun, they do package this up and they do try and sell it, because I'd buy it. I'd want all the extras.
I would buy the Blu-ray so fast.
Oh man, we can get more fight scenes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Give me behind the scenes, give me when they were working on choreography. I'd watch that.
Yep.
I wonder if they'd pixelate Dinesh and Josh's face on the behind the scenes. So that's about it. I love it though. And then I think we got kind of what turned out to be one of Eric, your wife's favorite parts of the show was we get to see Derek Thieler again, Exo Manowar flying through the sky, coming into God, he looks just so freaking cool there, dude.
He does look awesome, and it was so cool in the first one when he puts the suit on and shit. But this second episode, do you guys remember when we were when Matt Kint's Exo series started, and there was a set of 3 episodes or 3 issues of that run in a row, where at the end of every issue it looked like he was about to put the armor on, and then the next issue it's no, he doesn't really have the armor on, but at the end he's about to put it on, and then again the next issue, no, he doesn't really have it on. And it's just this one, obviously he has the armor on, but it's the end of the first episode, it's Aric's flying into battle, we're going to get some Exo Manowar, and then the whole episode goes by and they're no, he's still flying, but he's on his way. I was I know he's flying. Give it to me. I want to see the fight. Yeah, so I'm just anxious. I would love, it's cool that they're dragging it out day by day, but it would be so nice to have already been able to see this, because I just feel Arik getting involved is going to make it amazingly epic.
I'm going to agree, man. Just having him in there, it was one where I was surprised when they did it, and to see how they've done it and how it actually looked. I was really worried about the suit. It looks really awesome. Ultimately, I do want to see them do enough. I don't know if they have the budget to do the CG of showing the suit wrap around him the way he does in many of the other comics. But it looks solid. It looks great. Watching the helmet come on him the last issue or last episode was really great. I know that when I get this, I'm going to wish that I saw it all at one time too. See it all the way through, to have not had any breaks, to have it be one complete thing. So I'm in for it. So I liked it. Oh, I thought at first it looked like you're lifting up your shirt, but it's a dog.
No, Freya's really excited about Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe as well.
So Tor, you haven't watched the show yet, and you just kind of saw these slides. What are your thoughts?
We're literally watching the Gilad introduction right now.
Oh, nice.
I got it.
Anyway, how are you feeling about it so far?
I'm digging it. I mean, I don't...
Can't get the dialogue.
I heard the first half of it. I'll rewatch it a couple more times to really cement it in. But no, yeah, I'm loving everyone's costumes, especially the first appearance of Livewire fighting Ninjak. How they handled her abilities, with the CG, I thought was really well. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch it regardless, even if it's not good. I like it.
Yeah, luckily it is good though.
Right? It's the characters that we love, man. I mean, it's cool. I kept saying, give me something. I want to see. I love the comics. That's why I'm here. Period. But to see them in another form, another medium is just awesome. Seeing a cartoon would be great too, an animated series, something. But then knowing that Vin Diesel's coming out soon, knowing that there's still the Toxic Quantum and Woody and the Russo brothers taking that over after they're done with the Avengers. And then what'd you hear? What's her name on CW? Dr. Mirage. Just to see some more come out. I think this hopefully, like I say, this is the domino to get some more to fall, and hopefully this gets good good results come out of it, even though it is a kind of fan film, but put out what it was, a lower budget series. It's great though.
Agreed.
I've got a couple of people that I've chatted with who are a little more familiar, they're very much anticipating the Shadow Man making his appearance. I know here probably a day or two before this was actually released, we got our first images of Shadow Man, which were fantastic. And I know that here eventually, I don't know quite which episode he's going to make his first appearance, but there's a lot of people excited about that. Not for one, I agree. I want to see how they've built the underworld, the dead side. I want to see how they've made Shadow Man and what all is going to happen with the Shadow Man.
One thing I want to say about them showing Shadow Man is they did a real good job of like keeping him under wraps, I feel, because prior to these images, there was that initial poster that Miko had done. We're like, oh shit, Shadow Man's in this.
Yeah, you could barely see him up here. Like, he's just barely on there. But, yeah, he is in there.
They also released that photo cover that has everybody on it, and one of the little slices is Shadow Man.
Yep.
But that's like all we had seen of Shadow Man is that he was in Miko's drawing and that he was on that one photo cover. So, yeah, when they actually started releasing photos just of Shadow Man, that was pretty awesome.
Because everyone else we'd, seen one or two for a while, with the exception of maybe, Archer and Armstrong, but...
Well, even they got their own photo cover.
They did.
EXO got his own photo cover. Bloodshot obviously has had photo covers. Livewire got a photo cover. Ninjak obviously, got his own. Like they did everybody pretty much through Rapture and saw a couple of the other issues coming out. But Shadow Man, they never did a Ninjak versus Shadow Man photo variant, which I think would have been awesome for Shadow Man #1, right?
That would have been cool if they had a variant of that. I agree. They should at least do #3 that way then.
That would be nice.
Yep, we want it. So, yeah, dude, I love that Shadow Man is going to be in it, knowing that we're going to see him. I wonder, and I kind of, if they're going to do any more surprises, if we're going to see anything Psyot related.
Oh,
that would be cool. Yeah, that'd be one that they would have snuck past.
Who is this guy? Right here.
Who is that?
I'm not sure who that is. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be like that we kind of was sitting in plain sight, like a Harada or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that could very well be a Toyo.
Looks like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Never take Sheldon's face very seriously at all.
Well, can you imagine him being a superhero or something? He would not be intimidating.
Yep.
Sorry, Jim Parsons, if you see this someday, because the likelihood of that is so high. No, this series is turning out so good so far. Like, it does, I'll be honest, like, there's a little bit of me that wishes that I would have known when it was coming out earlier and that it was going to be so close to the comics, so I could have made a more informed decision about whether or not I wanted to start the comics before being able to see the series. But I'm still enjoying the series thoroughly regardless. Like, nothing, like, there's not much comparison between, having the characters drawn on a panel on a page versus actually seeing actors bringing the characters to life in, full motion. Like, and that's why, like you said before, Hoosier, like an animated series would be, or an animated movie or something would be cool. Like, I just have always thought that EXO would be perfect to do, like, an animated series or an animated movie. Like the Venditti run, can you imagine that being adapted into an animated series? That would be phenomenal.
Dude, that would be awesome. I could definitely see Archer and Armstrong being easily an animated series.
And Quantum Infinity.
Great.
Delinquent. Do a Delinquents animated movie.
On the cartoon, or on what is it, Adult Swim or something, dude? Just have
Adult Swim. There you go. There's your audience right there. Perfect.
Right. And then we have the live chat going on. We've got a bunch of people on. I want to thank them for jumping on. One of the guys talked about that note, the Where is Savage. You got to think that when this was first filmed, that first trailer was in October 2016. And so Savage didn't come out till November 2016. So I think that was kind of a throw out to where Savage, the soccer player, because he went missing on that island in Savage. It's kind of, I don't think it was that looking that far ahead, but that's kind of where I thought that was. Did you guys see any other Easter eggs in this?
In the second episode, I didn't hit on anything. It was more about the action. I don't think there was anything given. I mean, I've read the comic books, so I kind of know where they're going after this. But no, I don't think there was anything that I could think of that there was any Easter egg, unless there might have been something in the very beginning where the 4 years earlier, there could have been something there. I really haven't dug into it, though. But as far as the fight scene, it was too focused, zoomed in on the actors themselves, and I didn't really pick up anything.
Yeah, I didn't really notice any like real Easter eggs but
Sonic Dan in the first one.
Yeah, that cameo in the first one. But no, I didn't notice any other like calls to other characters or anything like that. I think it would be cool if we got more different characters. Like if we have two of the Immortal Brothers. What if Ivar showed up somewhere? That would be awesome. Divinity would be an amazing character to see show up randomly. Still looking forward, obviously, to Shadow Man showing up. But no, I didn't really see anything else. The only like Easter egg type things are a lot of people aren't going to know what that opening sequence was from the first episode. That definitely looked like. I mean, if you look at those symbols, those are obviously Master Dark's. Well, I don't remember the word that they used for the symbols and stuff. Sigil,
that
something.
Could be a call back to Shadow Man though, because he's tied to Master Dark. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they look specifically like Master Dark's. Like that's because it was the two triangles, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That he has tattooed on both sides of his head or whatever, or on his forehead. I don't remember. But yeah, that totally looks like Master Dark to me. And then obviously the Savage thing, and there were little things in the first episode, but I didn't really see a lot of that stuff in the second episode. It was really like I felt like the second episode was a lot more like specifically focused because it was just show the background between Ninjak and Neville, show that scene with Livewire and Galad talking to Neville, and then the big fight with Ninjak and Bloodshot. And that was really like the core focuses of the episode. It didn't really kind of look at more of the world than that.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that I have on curious of the plot point is like, I'm sure if you read the comics, you would know it as far as the Ninjak first comic. But what is Roku's plan with the Book of the Geomancer? And then, honestly, what is she, just sitting there watching TV all day long? She gonna do something else? But
no,
it just seems like that's
gonna go out and about while she's rolling on E, dude.
Oh man, give her that book on
E. In a safe place. She's just yes. Oh, Ninjak.
This is great.
Beat him up. Oh, you got punched too. Oh, this is amazing.
I really like it. It looks like fun.
I'm just waiting for
I might have to really like
in her mouth.
I'm gonna have to try to get Valiant to the next level and Roku it up on future episodes.
Let's not do that, Eric. Let's not do that.
It seems like a great idea.
Be careful. Be careful with all the E, man. You don't know. Get it tested at your local rave before you take it. But yeah, I didn't dig it. You know what I mean? It gives some, people jumping on, Daniel Peralta, Captain Kano Spider jumping on, giving us some comments. Anthony, alternate comic fan. Just a bunch of people. Psycho Gold. Everybody's jumped on. Thanks. Henry over at Outright Geekery. Make sure you check those guys out. Looks like Josh also he's going to be doing a review every episode, he said. He's already got number 2 up as well. So.
Yeah, I read that. I like the reviews that he's doing, and obviously he and I will talk about the series as a whole once next Thursday rolls around. But yeah, Josh is. I would recommend people go check out Josh's little articles he's doing.
Yeah, it'll be all out by the time you guys do your next.
By the time we do our next episode, yeah, the whole thing will be out. But yeah, Josh's articles are looking good. It's nice for me because usually I hear what Josh says while we're talking. So it's nice for me to actually get to hear what he says and hear what he has to say about something without me interrupting him.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. I mean, that's funny though. But yeah, Josh does do a good job writing. So as long as he can get a word in edgewise, he's pretty good on that.
Yeah.
And then funny that Dario, one of our regular viewers, Dario Hernandez says, "Have you guys heard any Ninjak versus news?" Because we used to kind of joke about it again and again. Nope, not today. So it's great that we got it. It's great that it's here. And I don't know if I said this. Forgive me. I'm double saying it twice. Part of me wishes that Dinesh didn't hype it up so much, so I could have been even more surprised and more amped for this show, because he did hype it up a lot. And I kind of like a point, like, I wish it wasn't put up so my expectations so high. It did deliver, but I mean, just if it was kind of like a little bit more leveled and played out, boom, it would have been like a pleasant surprise. And I think the few that have gotten some mixed reviews on it, that might be one of the causes. I'm not sure.
Or maybe if the hype wasn't like so much so quickly and then kind of nothing.
Yeah.
And
because it was built up really fast and then just slowly just kind of faded away. And
cricket chirps. And
yeah.
I mean, that first trailer was pretty much the whole first episode in a way. I mean, parts of the whole first episode. So you got to think December or October 2010 when NYC Comic-Con was out, 2016. So yeah, that's a year and a half ago. Almost the first issue, but yeah, like you said, it was a lot at first, and then it kind of we were hoping for more. But I'm glad it's all solved. That's behind us now. Looking forward.
For sure, I'm stoked for the next episode. Hopefully, we see EXO do more than just fly, fly and look angry. Not that he's not good at that, but more action from EXO would be cool, and definitely looking forward to.
Shadow Man.
Based on the way everything went in the comic series, I think that there's going to be big stuff coming, in the last 2 episodes. I think, episodes 5 and 6 are probably going to be pretty badass. So I'm really excited for that.
The cool thing is, dude, we're not even halfway done with the series.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we got 2, 3 is going to be halfway once we're done with 3. Then we got 3 more, and I'm thinking that maybe tomorrow night we might be doing the same thing again. If people are available to jump on to talk episode number 3. So it's always good to talk this. I'm enjoying all of it.
It's fun to kind of, I was watching you guys chat yesterday. It was fun to see you guys, kind of, break down yesterday's episode, and I'm glad I got to join you today to talk about it, and hopefully you guys are able to continue talking about the episodes as they come out, and if we can all talk about it, even better.
Agreed, man. Agreed. And I know Bat in the Sun said they watched the previous one too, so thank those guys for everything they're doing. I think Aaron and Sean are doing a good job, and they're like I say, pushing it out a lot. So thanks to them. And then just all the actors. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention that I don't think a lot of people have brought up, they kind of talked about a while ago the fact that Sean was going to be doing all the music, and I feel like the music is kind of an unsung hero of this series, at least in my mind. When music is done like for film, when it's done badly, it stands out. You really hear everything, and it's like, wow, that doesn't really fit, and you really notice it. The tough thing about when music is done well for film is that it flows so seamlessly with the way everything's edited that you almost don't even notice it's there. And I feel like there are times when I have to remind myself to kind of listen to what the music sounds like, because I'm so caught up in like the mood it creates that I forget to actually pay attention to what it's doing. And I think that is a huge compliment to how well Sean made the music for this, because it doesn't flow against the series or against the action. It really complements everything. And like a perfect moment for me is when in that first episode when Ninjak takes everybody down in MI6 and then Livewire shows up, and the music when she's walking up on him, man, so awesome.
That's funny because I had a friend offline who watched it, not familiar with Ninjak or the Valiant universe at all. and he was a music major. He says, "Man, you missed an opportunity there. It could have been more pulse pounding. It could have been more driving home all those the fight scenes, and it could have just been a little tighter, a little more vicious, to hype it up even more." So, but I do get what you're saying. If done right, that music, and especially the live wire scene, I do remember that being pretty darn nice. I like the music and the feel when she walked into the room. She's a boss, without a doubt.
Dude, and I actually dig the intro to have the actual comics in there. I thought that was super cool how they threw those in there and kind of animated them.
When they do like the rock thing where it slams down and you see like a cover of a #1 or whatever, I thought those were really cool the way they did that.
Yeah, having the comics in there, I do think that was really cool that they're they're putting it out there. Now, like I says, new books every month. Each issue's every month. The new books every week because there's so if you get into Valiant, Shadow Man 2 out this Wednesday with what's the other book that's out this Wednesday, guys? Exo Manowar Back to 14. Earth. So some solid books this week. So, yes, dude, I dug it because going back because Daniel Peralta wrote Mortal Kombat when Livewire knocked him out of the building of MI6. When she was watching it, she was like, "Finish him!" and totally threw out some Mortal Kombat. It's like flawless victory.
When she was live on Instagram earlier, I mentioned that, because she's like screams when she blasts him out the building. And she said that wasn't like planned at all. She just got so into the moment and felt like Livewire would be so frustrated because she's friends with Colin and he won't talk to her. He won't tell her what's going on. She doesn't want to have to fight him, but he won't give up. So now she's at the point where I basically have to kill you because you're not working with me. And so she's just like so frustrated in that moment that, she just let it out and screamed and they left it in. And I thought that was perfect.
Well, in hindsight, he wasn't even fighting back too. I mean, didn't seem like she paid attention to that at all in this series that he wasn't fighting back because she was like, "You didn't see him. You didn't see the way he was." But it's like, no, actually, he didn't fight you at all. He was kind of like just running, tuck and tail and running. So.
Yeah, but I think she's also referring to the fact that he took down a whole bunch of people, and she might not know as much as because Neville was talking about how Ninjak didn't kill anybody. Maybe Livewire isn't sure whether or not he's been killing people. Maybe she thought he killed Capshaw in front of her, So, she's watching him lay waste to all these people that she knows, and he won't tell her what's going on, and they're supposed to be friends. I'd be frustrated too if I was her.
Yeah.
Killed at least the one dude with the tie.
Oh, that was in his room, though. That was when he was being attacked in his room. I'm talking about in MI6. He didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, that was Roku's guy.
Yeah, he totally killed at least, his lady friend shot a couple of Roku's guys in the head. So, yeah, those dudes are not getting them.
Kill shots. Yeah, so ultimately, awesome, man. Excited for number 3. Supposed to be coming out at 8 o'clock in the morning West Coast time, 11 o'clock East Coast time. So hopefully they get that going and we could get to see some more of it. And we can kind of go from there and see some more. So, but yeah, you guys have anything else to add on today? All right. Well, tomorrow, kind of signing off. I'm Hoosier with WhoDooTV. Make sure you're subscribing and liking. Let's try to get some more people engaged with Valiant. And hopefully, if you have questions, put those in the comments. And then also check out Get Valiant's interview. Their last episode was with Aaron Shonik, the Bat in the Sun director. And then check their live show out Thursday. They're going to have a bunch of stuff going on. And I believe we're trying to try to get back on tomorrow to kind of go over this for the next episode. So, again, signing off, I'm Hoosier.
Bye.
That's Eric. That's Tor. There's Chris.
Yeah. Eric, Tor.